long, long ago, when the stars were brighter and the air carried only silence, there was a garden unlike any other. It was called the Garden of God. In this place, the trees stood tall and gentle, their leaves shimmering in golden light. Birds sang softly, their songs melting into the breeze, and a river, quiet, clear, flowed like silver through the earth. Every tree bore fruit, sweet, tender, endless. Each breath of air was filled with fragrance, like a gentle whisper from the Creator himself. In the heart of the garden, there lived a man. His name was Adam. When he opened his eyes each morning, he saw beauty everywhere. He named the birds, walked beside the deer, and dipped his hands into the river, smiling at the ripples. But when the sun began to fall, when the sky turned soft with colors of dusk, Adam felt something deep inside, a quiet ache. He was alone. God knew. God saw the longing within his heart, for the heart of man desires a companion, someone to walk beside him, someone to share the silence. So one night, under the hush of the stars, God placed Adam into a deep, deep sleep, and from that sleep, a miracle was born. From Adam's side, God shaped a woman. Her name was Eve. Her eyes carried the softness of morning dew, and her smile shone like the flowing river. When Adam awoke, he saw her standing there. And in that very moment, the birds grew still, the leaves paused their dance, and the whole garden waited for the first meeting of man and woman. Adam's heart filled with joy. His loneliness was gone. Eve would walk with him day by day, night by night. And from above, God whispered a blessing into the quiet air. This is the beginning of life, of love, of peace. The garden was alive, but in the gentlest way. Not loud, not restless, but calm, as though every tree, every river, every breath of wind was singing a soft lullaby. Adam and Eve walked hand in hand, their steps pressed softly against the earth, and wherever they went, the garden seemed to open before them. Birds fluttered above, their wings like little whispers in the air. Deer moved quietly through the grass, and the river kept flowing, a never-ending song of peace. They learned together. Adam would point to the sky, naming the stars. Eve would smile, gathering flowers, weaving them into crowns of color. When the morning light returned, they would greet it with joy. When the night came, they would rest beneath the blanket of heaven, the stars keeping watch like gentle lanterns in the dark. There was no fear, no pain, only stillness, only peace. And yet, in the hush of this perfect place, a question lingered, a small, quiet wondering. Would the garden remain this way forever? For at the center of the garden stood two trees. One, the tree of life, shining with promise. The other, the tree of knowledge, its branches heavy, its fruit glowing with mystery. God's voice came softly, like the breeze itself. Eat from every tree, every branch, every fruit, but not from this one, not from the tree of knowledge. For the day you taste it, your peace will fade, and shadows will follow. Adam listened. Eve listened, and the garden sighed with silence. The days went on, beautiful, gentle, unbroken. But far in the hidden corners of the garden, another presence stirred, watching, waiting. The story of peace was not the end. It was the beginning. The garden still shimmered with light, but somewhere in the quiet places, a shadow moved. Not loud, not strong, just a whisper in the leaves. Adam and Eve, they walked as always, hands brushing the flowers, feet sinking gently into the grass. They laughed, they rested, they dreamed. But the shadow watched. It waited. And when the moment was right, it spoke. A voice smooth as silk. A voice soft as falling rain. It came not with thunder, not with force, but with questions. Did God really say you must not eat from this tree? Eve turned her eyes to the tree of knowledge. Its fruit glowed as though the sunset itself had been caught inside. Her heart hesitated. She remembered the words. She remembered the warning. But the voice came again, soothing, gentle, almost kind. You will not die. No, no. You will awaken. You will know. You will be like God. The garden held its breath. The birds fell silent. Even the river seemed to pause. Eve's hand reached forward, slowly, quietly. Her fingers brushed the fruit, smooth, heavy, alive. One bite, one taste. That was all it would take. And still, the voice whispered, soft, persistent, endless. Adam stood near. Eve's heart trembled. The garden, once so calm, now felt different, as though the air itself was waiting for her choice. The fruit rested in her hand, smooth, glowing, silent. Eve raised it slowly, the garden holding its breath. The birds no longer sang. The breeze no longer moved. Even the leaves were still. Her lips touched the fruit, a pause, a heartbeat, and then a bite. The sound was soft, but it echoed. Through the garden, through the silence, through the soul of creation itself. Eve's eyes widened. The taste was sweet, sweet beyond anything she had known. But within the sweetness, a shiver, a knowing, a weight. She turned to Adam, her hand extended, her eyes searching, her voice a whisper. Take and eat. Adam looked at her, at the fruit, at the stillness around them. And though his heart stirred with warning, his love for her was stronger. He took it. He ate. And in that moment, the garden changed. The colors shifted. The light dimmed. The breeze, once gentle, now carried a chill. They looked at each other. But for the first time, they did not see only love. They saw themselves. Their eyes opened, their innocence gone. They felt bare, exposed, ashamed. Quickly, they gathered leaves, covering themselves, hiding what had never needed hiding before. And then they heard it. A sound, a voice, not far, not near, but everywhere. The voice of God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. Adam, where are you? The question drifted like thunder wrapped in silk, gentle yet heavy, calling them, seeking them. But Adam and Eve hid. For the first time, they were afraid. The whisper drifted through the trees, tender but heavy, like the weight of rain before it falls. Adam stepped forward, his body trembling, his voice a whisper of shame. I heard you, and I was afraid, because I was bare. So I hid. The garden sighed, the leaves bent low, and God spoke again, soft but sorrowful. Who told you you were bare? Did you eat from the tree I forbade? Adam lowered his eyes, his words faltered. The woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate. Eve lifted her face, her voice fragile as glass. The serpent, he deceived me, and I ate. Silence, a silence so deep that even the river seemed to hold back its song. Then the voice of God, steady, certain. The ground will change, the earth will bear thorns, pain will walk with you, and shadows will follow. Adam wept, Eve wept. The garden once so still, so gentle, now carried a sorrow it had never known. But in the midst of grief, a promise came, soft, quiet, like the first star after a stormy night. One day, from the woman's seed, a child will rise, and though the serpent strikes, the child will crush the darkness. Light will return. God's hands, tender, wove garments of skin. He clothed Adam. He clothed Eve. Even in their shame, he cared for them. And then the gate, the path away from Eden, the place of perfect peace was behind them now. Yet as they walked forward, hand in hand, a whisper of hope followed, that though they had fallen, they were not forgotten. Though shadows had come, light would one day shine again. The story was not ended. It had only begun. Beyond the garden, the world was different. The air was heavier, the ground harder. The silence of Eden was gone, replaced by wind, by labor, by the sound of a world awakening to struggle. Adam and Eve walked slowly. Each step pressed into the earth, reminding them of the life they once knew. Yet still, they walked together, hand in hand. Time passed. Seasons turned. The first drops of rain touched their faces. The first chill of night wrapped around their bodies. And with each day, they learned to live, to hope, to endure. Soon, their arms held something new. A child, their firstborn son. They named him Cain. Eve looked into his eyes, and for the first time since leaving the garden, her heart felt light. She whispered, "God has given me a son." And later, another. They named him Abel. 2 brothers, 2 lives, growing beneath the open sky. Cain, his hands strong, his heart restless, tilled the soil. He worked the earth, coaxing fruit from the ground. Abel, gentle, quiet, walked among the flocks. The sheep knew his voice and followed him like shadows. And when the time came, both sons brought an offering to the Lord. Cain brought the fruit of the ground, grains, harvest, the work of his hands. Abel brought the firstborn of his flock, pure, unblemished, the best he had. The Lord looked with favor upon Abel and his gift, but Cain's heart was not pure, and his gift was not accepted. In the stillness of the night, Cain's heart grew heavy, heavy with anger, heavy with jealousy. And the shadow that once whispered in the garden now whispered again.